Welcome to Paul's Kitchen. This is Chef Paul. With me is nobody because everybody's sleeping. So today we're going to do a video on some amazing sauce, and it's the Chinese spare rib sauce, which is really amazing. So one of the biggest things for us is we really like the sauce. The ribs not so much because there's too much bone, but we do really like to make the sauce, and I like to use it to make some ribs or something else with pork in it. Or you can use this for beef or whatever you want, really. It's a great recipe, but there's one little problem. Just one little problem. It has bean sauce in it, and that's not a good thing. So what we're going to do to combat that, because bean sauce itself is tasty, but it does have a serious problem. It's not going to process properly with my kidneys. Amy has an issue with her gallbladder taken out. She can't process it. So she can't have it. And a shout out to my good friend Leia, or AK Jess down in Mississippi. She has IBS, and it's going to be really negative effect on her. So one of our good friends, hey Jess, we love you. Hope you're having a good day. So how do we get around that? Because we kind of really need that. Well, I'm going to make a sauce. I'm going to make my own bean sauce using chickpeas. Chickpeas are healthy, good, and everybody can have them. So I got a boiling pot of water, and then I'm going to boil 1/3 of a cup of chickpeas for 5 minutes. They're going to let it sit for an hour, and then I'm going to put it through the food processor, and we'll come back and we'll start that process. It's really easy, but it's going to be a little bit healthier. It's going to make it a whole lot better of a sauce when it's done. So hopefully everybody likes this when it's done. I'm not using canned chickpeas. I'm using canned chickpeas, so this should actually work better. So we'll be back in a little over an hour to check this out. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button, because guys, it means a lot to us. Alright, and we're back. So unfortunately, to make the barbecue sauce, there are some things that we need to do to make sure that that we actually are ready for it, and a big part of that is a black bean sauce. And the black bean sauce is, well, something that's not good for a lot of people, so we're going to make it so that it is good. So I'm going to put half of an onion. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm going to do a bunch of black garlic in here, because why not? It's super healthy for you. You can watch one of our past videos on making black garlic, and I'm telling you right now, if you don't have it, it's worth having. The benefits for this is just unreal. And as of what type of onion, I don't really think it matters too much, whatever you like. And then our cooked, drained, and everything for our chickpeas, we're going to put this into the food processor. And of course, I'm going to do some dishes. So I've got a pan with a little bit of oil, and I'm going to start heating that up here. This shouldn't take too terribly long, but alright, so forgive the noise here, but this is the Ninja food processor. I'm telling you right now, it's amazing. I don't like being loud, but this should be the loudest that we're going to be for now. Why? Because Amy's sleeping, and I don't really want to wake her up, because if you listen to any Megadeth song and you ever heard the song Wake Up the Dead, well, there we go. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm just going to pour this into the pot. Sorry to my Chinese friends, because I know that some of you are probably going to get a little upset because I'm not making this the way that you would, and I get that, but I am trying to make a barbecue sauce, and here's the thing. There's a lot of people with some health ailments, and beans is definitely not going to be a good thing for it, and I'm one of them. It is what it is. So in here, in my bowl, I'm going to put in some sauces now. I'm going to put in some dark soy sauce, sorry. Because I am using soy sauce, I am not going to use any salt because I don't think you need it. I'm going to use some regular soy sauce. When you're using any sort of soy sauce, you're going to find that you don't need to have, and I'm going to put the phone down again, so I'm going to grind some ground black pepper. When you're using soy sauce, that's enough salt for you. If you shake so that will go well, and then I'm going to use some rice vinegar. And then I'm going to put in some turmeric and smoked paprika. And give me 1 second, guys. And I'm going to pour in a little bit of rum. And it's alright, guys. I do have it in the house, but it's got to get used because we don't drink. And I use it for cooking more than I use it for anything else. So I'm just going to take my spoon and stir that in here. Where this is going into the sauce itself, it's going to cook out and you're not going to feel the alcohol. You don't need to overcook this, so I'm not going to let this sit in for too terribly long. I'm going to pour my sauce in. And then I'm going to put the phone down for another second here because I need to put in some garlic and ginger. And I'll be right back, and we're almost on this part of it. All right, so that's all in. So everything we need is already in here. We're going to give this a really good stir because especially with the ginger and the garlic in. Now I've used a paste that's already bought from the store. Why? Because it's easier. And that's perfectly fine. Now you can see the consistency here, and we're using this again in a barbecue sauce. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button, guys. It really means a lot to us. So I'm going to set this on 1 and let this simmer for about 10 minutes and take it off the heat and let it go. You can come back and stir this every now and again, but that's pretty much it, guys. Just let it simmer. I'm sorry for the camera work, but it's just me today. It's not much I can do for it. So we're going to be back very soon. And we're back, and this is actually the very end. So this is the hardest part about filming when I'm absolutely by myself, because guess what? I got no help, and it really sucks. So I got most of everything I want except for one little thing, and I have to figure out where the hell Amy put it. Right there. All right. Sometimes I ever put stuff away, and sometimes I don't remember exactly where it is. So I got the pot back on, and you'll see that's as much of the bean sauce as I got left. I'm going to save the rest of it because we don't need that much of it for this recipe, but it's good to have. I'm going to put a dab of apple cider vinegar because I don't really care if that's traditional for Chinese or not. We're using it because that's what I do. All right, so you're going to find that this is not necessarily going to be the most traditional of all recipes, but it'll get the job done. All right, and then I'm going to put a little bit of lemon sauce in here. All right, and this is my spice mix. I've got cinnamon, cloves, black garlic, nutmeg, and turmeric and paprika. And I've got the juice of 1 can of pineapple. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Terre Haute, but it's needed. And then I've got a little bit of the pineapple, not the whole can, obviously, don't need that much. And I'm just going to stir this up here a little bit because we're going to let this simmer for a little while. I was a little shocked when I read this is what they use, but that's what they use. All right, I've got half a cup of sugar-free, low-sodium ketchup. And I have to put the camera down to put this in. But now when you make this, it's not exactly going to be as red as what the traditional sauce is normally going to be, and there's a reason for that. It's actually very, very simple. A lot of them use a food coloring. Yeah, I mean that's kind of crazy if you ask me. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Truvia. It's a stevia mix. I'm not going to use a whole lot of it, but we do want it to have a sweet taste. And we're almost done here. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to put in about a 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce, if that's what it's called. It's one of my favorite sauces of all time. And this calls for soy sauce, but we already have enough in, and I just want to use a little bit. But I'm going to use a little bit, maybe a tablespoon or 2 of dark soy sauce. And then some rice wine. And then lastly, I'm going to use just a dab of roasted sesame oil. And then we're going to stir this in really good. Be careful not to spray the rest of the stove. I'll blame that on Amy later. If you're really bothered by the color, you can just add a little bit more ketchup, but I urge you to use the sugar-free stuff because they do make sugar-free and also lower sodium, which is good. We're going to let this cook for a little bit. I was supposed to leave a spoon out so I could do my tasting, but I didn't. I usually have Amy here to help me with this, and there's a benefit for that. You have to taste what you're doing. Give me 1 second, guys. So we're back. I had to go out and put a little bit more ketchup in. And this is why you need to taste your creations, because if you don't know what it's going to taste like. You don't know if it's going to taste right, because you need to fix things. Because when it's done, it's a little hard to actually fix it. Yeah, that actually tastes right to me. Actually, you know what? No, I'm thinking it needs a little bit more hoisin sauce. Give me 1 second, guys. You always want to take a moment and just taste test what you're doing. Add a little bit of something that you think it might need, and then so I got 3/4 cup of ketchup and half a cup of hoisin sauce. So let's give it a little taste. Oh yeah, perfect. And this is my Chinese spare rib barbecue sauce. To me, this is perfect. It tastes good. It is healthy. I'm using Truvia, which is pretty much stevia. It's sugar free, and I'm also using sodium less components. We're also using chickpeas. What we're going to do is we're going to turn the heat down to a 2, and we're going to let this simmer for 10 minutes, let it cool down and bottle it, and we're good. That's it, guys. This is going to taste amazing, wonderful. This is what making cooking great again is all about, because most likely you already have most of the stuff sitting at home anyways. If you don't, it's going to be very minimal to what you need to get. So it's pretty easy. So please hit that like, share, subscribe button. One click from you is important to us. So you have a great day.